GoFundMe basics. What is it? How can you use it? What are the fees and tax implications? We'll cover that right now. GoFundMe is the best place to fundraise according to their how it works documentation, whether you're an individual, group, or organization. The main thing that seems to happen on GoFundMe in terms of projects getting created are projects created by individuals for help with personal issues. If you look at the main website, you can see it says that there's 10,000 GoFundMe projects. Over 10,000 people start a GoFundMe every day. You can see the categories here: medical, memorial, emergency, nonprofit, education, animals, business, community, competition, creative event, faith, family, newlywed, sports, travel, volunteer, and wishes. These are all different things you can do from starting a business. Some of the most successful GoFundMe projects I've seen tend to be medical emergencies, memorials, fundraising for nonprofit or big causes. For example, if you look on the platform right now, the top fundraisers are government shutdown, a Chris McCallum family fund, and a tribute to Niraj. These are some of the top donations. If you click see more, you can see a little bit more depth. You can see Let's Get Burke Home Project, a family memorial, and an Oshan family fundraiser. So a lot of the things people donate to tend to be very emotional events, things like medical emergencies or memorials. Also, you can use this to fundraise for a business, to help get your new venture started, to make something creative or competitive, to build a community, to fund your education. I'm using this to build a movement of pay it forward student loans, of helping each other out, talking about student loans. My project is Student Loans Win the Game Together. The idea being, I ask for help, get honest with the exact amount that my family, we owe in student loans, and then a commitment on our part to pay that forward at least 5 times over the course of our life to help others. That's my project. I imagine the projects created that are not emergencies or not really emotional or tragic events. The best of these projects are ones that have a big vision for connecting and helping others. A lot of the unsuccessful projects on GoFundMe seem to be things like just basically give me money without much more of an explanation. There's nothing wrong with that, but aren't seeing a lot of donations to those. Now you might wonder, okay, how does GoFundMe work? It's pretty easy to start a campaign. It only has 3 pages. It's just got a main basics page, then it's got a photo or video page, then it's got the long story format. So on mine, the basics are over here in the fundraising goal and in the name, then the video or pictures up here, then the stories down there. It's real easy to create a campaign. You can share it easily with emails, text, or social media. You can even customize your link to give you the ability to have a nice short shareable URL, like I have gofundme.com/Banfield for my project. Then you can manage your donations, accept donations, thank donors, and withdraw funds. What you can do on GoFundMe is fundraise, and the fee is very low. So far, I've paid on $650 in donations. The actual amount I'm getting out of it is something like $620 or $630. It's only the processing fees that you pay. So something like 3% or so is the fee you pay on the donations. Now, it depends on how you set it up. What's really cool, there's the 0% platform fee because GoFundMe is powered by donations itself. When you go to donate on GoFundMe, they ask you to contribute to help their platform going, which is beautiful. You are able to just support GoFundMe with your donation, and therefore there's no fees on the platform itself, which is awesome. Your project publishes instantly, which is a lot nicer than some other crowd-raising platform. One other one I'm thinking in particular where you have to get it approved. You can use it for just about anything. When you go to withdraw your donations, you do need to verify your identity with your birthday, a social security number, name, address, and phone number. And GoFundMe also encourages you to naturally share it everywhere. But GoFundMe, what was I gonna say? Come on, I had one last point I really cared about before I got it. Taxes. Taxes are completely the user's responsibility. GoFundMe does not send 1099 forms out. In the USA, donations, for example, these donations to my project, are considered gifts. These are gifts to me where you don't get anything back. It's straight towards my dole. These are gifts. You can give up to $14,000 a year in the USA as a gift. The gifts are not taxable. This particular project, in my mind, qualifies for gifts where there's no taxes paid on it. However, if I was to put up something to say fundraise for my business, that more than likely would be taxable. I've seen stories of people getting big tax bills for their GoFundMe. It is possible the IRS could either do it on purpose or have something mess up and try and tax a GoFundMe. It is completely the user's responsibility to determine your tax liability. GoFundMe does not trigger tax forms as far as their documentation says. And these can be considered purely gifts. Now, it all depends on how you set your project up. I've set my project up as purely a gift project. However, if I set it up to fund a new business expansion or something like that, that more than likely would be considered income. I would need to report that on my taxes. Therefore, when you consider your project, you need to set it up in a way, if you don't want to pay tax on it, that it's strictly a gift. Therefore, you can't do things like rewards on your project because gifts must be given without the expectation of something back. If you set it up that there's something back, that's called a service or a business that is taxable. You don't get anything back from donating to my project. It's purely charitable donation. You do not have to have a charity or a nonprofit set up in order to accept donations because as an individual, at least in the USA, you can take donations personally. Therefore, if you want to fundraise for an organization or charity, you can do that. You can set it up that way. You can also set up a GoFundMe to have it for someone else. For example, you can set up a GoFundMe for a family member or a friend. You can add them onto the campaign. If you go over into the settings tab in your campaign, you have team members. You can add people onto your team, especially if you're an organization or raising for a family. Like I can add my wife on the campaign to help her out manage it. Thus, all right, I think I've covered the most critical things for GoFundMe in terms of how it works, the things I wondered before signing up. I hope this is useful for you when you're considering making your own GoFundMe and you're trying to do the research on it as well.